Hello. Okay, so I am priming my skin with Wet n Wild Impossible. I will tell you, I am really loving this primer. I've used it quite a few times, and I just love it. I really feel like it does a good job of holding my makeup in place. You can put this on your eyes if you want. It's up to you. You don't have to though. Okay, and you don't need a lot. Like if you feel like your face is kind of wet, make sure you let it dry before you put your makeup on. But this one really doesn't make your face feel wet. Okay, so let's get into our application. I will do my eyes in a little bit. We're gonna start with our 3D brush. I'm going to use one layer of makeup, and I'm going to, for the most part, just use my 3D brush. So I'm gonna start with Ash Contour. I'm gonna use the bigger side of my brush, which let me get off that pink color a little bit. And I'm going to just push that into my contour and get some of that on my brush. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to start at the top of my ear and just bring that down. And I am cupping that cheekbone, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. That's the magic about cream, is that everything is fixable. I'm going to draw a line on my forehead. I like to connect my forehead contour and my cheek contour. That's an option. You do not have to do that. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side. And then, like I said, I'm holding the brush like this to get my contour on. Again, it doesn't really matter. I mean, like you can tell, I'm not perfect by any of this, by any means. That's why this makeup works so well. Okay. So we have our contour on. Whatever's left on my brush, I'm just gonna take down my jawline. I will line my lips a little later, and I will do my nose contour a little later as well. Okay, so we have our contour in those places. Now what we're going to do is we're gonna move on to our foundation shade. So I am using Candlelit, which is right here. I'm gonna get some of that on my brush. I'm still using the bigger side of my brush. You can use whatever side you want. And I'm going to just pat this in to my skin. Just use a little bit and then grab more as you need it. See how that color is really cleaning up the contour that I kind of went a little crazy with? I'm telling you, you can't mess it up as long as you put the colors where you're supposed to. So I'm using my foundation shade right now. So I have it underneath my contour, on my chin, underneath this contour. I'm gonna take a little bit of it and put it on the sides of my nose. And if you want to actually do your nose, if you have redness on your nose, you can take your main foundation and put it there. Now, you don't need much for this next step, so I'm just gonna take the smaller side because it's a little pointy. And I am going to put just a teeny bit above my contour. And a little bit above my brows, okay? All right, we're not gonna blend anything yet. We're just putting colors where they need to go. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and move on to our accent shade, which is a brightener shade. You will notice it is much brighter than my actual skin tone. That's what you want. So I am using Moonlit. And I'm gonna put this right here, right here. We are gonna put some on our eyes. I have that little acne spot there, so I'm gonna take Aspen Contour just with my finger and just mute that redness, because Aspen does wonders on muting redness. I know I look crazy, bear with me. We're going to put a little bit right here and a teeny bit there, and you can put it there too if you want. Okay, let's go ahead and blend these colors. I'm still gonna stick with this brush. If you prefer a bigger brush to blend, use the blush and bronzer. It has a bigger side, which makes your blending process super quick, but it is totally doable with this side. So I'm just gonna go around and make sure that my main color is in my skin. I'm going to make sure that accent color is blended in. So I'm working around the lighter shades of my face, and then we will go to our contour shade in a minute. And I am just bouncing this brush off of my face rather than doing a lot of swiping motion. And I like to do the bouncing motion if I have certain trouble areas. And if you didn't notice, I have very dark circles under my eyes. So I want to make sure that makeup is going to stay right where I put it. So I make sure not to swipe in those areas. If you are just amazing and have great skin, swiping motion is fine. It's really about whatever works for you. Everyone has different skin tones and different skin, like conditions and stuff like that. So what works for one may not work for another. So a lot of things about makeup is trial and error. You just have to be willing to try different things if the first thing did not work. And once you get this makeup, you're going to love it. Like once you get the hang of it. All right, so I'm taking my main highlight shade and just putting it over that color. And I'm gonna do my brows in a second. I will do my brows off camera. Okay, well, thought I was recording and I wasn't, but I did my cheek color and I did my lip color. Let's go ahead and add some bronzer. So I'm gonna put this on the outer corners of my face. And then I also like to take a little bit down my neck. Okay, so don't let the bronzer scare you. It blends so nicely. You just want to blend it back. Your bronzer and contour have different undertones. Your contour is going to have a more ashy tone to it to create shadows. And your bronzer is going to have more of a warm tone to it to create like a summery glow. Always make sure to take some down your neck, because bronzer can, make your face look one color. And we have lighter ones too if I'm using Bella, if that's not what you want to start with. I'm so mad, I thought I was recording. But if you want to know, on my cheeks I used Black Cherry and Plum. And on my lips, I used Ash to line them. I used Plum and Honey Illuminator. Okay. And that's it. So